A diverse show of solidarity for the black community amid so much hurt and anger sparked by the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Hummel. That peaceful protest in Lafayette was one of several around the state, so many taking a stand against racial injustice and police brutality. Tonight we have team coverage. Kendria LaFleur is covering today's rally in Baton Rouge, but we start with Marcel Fontenot anchoring our coverage from UL's campus. Marcel.
Thanks, Jim. Quiet here on the UL campus, but not the case earlier today. There are actually a few demonstrators still here with their signs out right in front of Martin Hall on the sidewalk here. But earlier today, some people have estimated over 1,000 people gathering here, a diverse crowd, but with one strong message for racial equity here in Louisiana and Acadiana.
Yeah. Black women carry struggle so that I can't even speak.
To say the day was filled with emotion is an understatement. Running throughout the 30-minute program this morning near Martin Hall, the heart of UL's campus. Now, despite those high emotions, several hundred protesters at the event remained calm. The speakers saying the names of not only George Floyd, but also Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and even locally Victor White III, highlighting the need for reform in policing, in Cajun and American culture.
I have a message for law enforcement. The message is, we want you to know that we're human just like you. We want you to know that when we leave our homes, we want to get back there that evening. We want you to know that we have families. We're human. We feel, we fear, we eat, we sleep, and we do a number of other things just like you.
I'll stand here today and let you know that we have the power to change this world. If our ancestors can do it, so can we.
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Now!
What do we want?
Once those speeches were over, demonstrators stretched out along both sides of Johnston Street and University Avenue. Some drivers honking in support, some even joining in the chants while stopped at traffic lights. Traffic still flowing as this was going on today. As we mentioned earlier, today's event drew a very diverse range of people, including parents who brought their children.
It's important because growing up today, you know, they need to know, they need to be aware of what's going on in the world. So we're going to teach them from young to be aware.
Demonstrators lining both Johnston and University Avenue for several blocks. And after a while of demonstrating here between those two streets, the event moved. People started walking towards the Lafayette Police Department, where they gathered as an entire group first, and then kept moving and walked around the block of the police department, chanting, very peaceful as we walked around Lafayette PD, chanting and just continuing their message of equality from police and around this country. Well, three of Lafayette's leaders were at the rally today. Lafayette Mayor President Josh Guillory here, Chief Minority Affairs Carlos Harvin, and Interim Police Chief Scott Morgan were all at today's event. They thanked the protesters for remaining civil, and they also agreed that change is needed.
We're all Americans here. What the Floyd's family is going through right now should never happen in the United States of America.
I know you sent out
ever. It should never happen in the United States of America.
We've got to speak up. We've got to speak out, because what happened to George Floyd should never happen to any American. And for that officer to be on his neck for 8 minutes and 45 seconds, it stands against everything that America stands for.
I would like to think that we're different. We're a lot different than other places. We're a very humble place. We like to eat. We like to get out and have festivals. We like to be around each other. So I think if we extend that same hospitality and, again, be the example for the rest of the nation, that this is the way to do things peacefully. This is the way to get your voice out there and not to rob away from the actual subject.
Ain't gonna let nobody daddy, turn me around. I'm headed toward the Lord. Everybody say, gonna let go.
Well, Lafayette not the only city with a rally today. Lake Charles and Shreveport as well as the state capitol. People walking and marching to the Capitol building today in solidarity, they say, with Minneapolis. Our Kendria LaFleur has been in Baton Rouge throughout the day today. She's joining us live, a city no stranger to this type of issue. Kendria.
George Floyd's death has brought many people back to the summer of 2016 when Alton Sterling was killed. Now, people from all different backgrounds, races, and age groups came together to demand change. They marched for about 20 minutes, coming to the steps here at the state capitol. Now, they chanted, "I can't breathe, no justice, no peace," and George Floyd's name. It was very emotional for many people who are speaking out against police brutality and racism. 2 years ago in 2016, protesters were doing the same thing after Alton Sterling's death, another black man killed by the hands of police. Sterling's aunt was in attendance today. I spoke with her, and she says seeing Floyd's death brought back painful memories.
I went back to 2016. It was the same exact thing. This is horrible. This is horrible. I don't get it. I don't get it. Watching these police officers don't get it. They don't get it. I don't know what it's going to take for them to get it. We kneeled. They didn't get it. When we did it peacefully, they didn't get it. So I don't know what it's going to take for them to understand that you're not going to keep killing our kids.
And again, it was a very peaceful protest out here today. In fact, I saw some protesters offering food and water to police officers. Live in Baton Rouge, Kendria LaFleur, KATC TV3.
Alrighty, well, back here in Lafayette, of note on the day of these rallies that are happening across the state, Breaux Bridge Police here in Acadiana strongly condemning a social media post by a lieutenant in the department. That post apparently in response to the unrest in parts of the country over the past few days. The post said, quote, "You don't see them burning the unemployment office or food stamp office," end quote. The officer deleted the post and apologized, but is under investigation tonight and could face disciplinary action. Again, here on the campus of UL, things are quiet right now. A day of rallying, a day of outcry for equity for all people in this country. We heard Black Lives Matter several times. We saw people wearing shirts, carrying signs, just trying to get equity for all in this area. To see more of our coverage, we have it all for you at KATC.com. That's where you can watch the speeches from today's program in their entirety. Live in Lafayette, Marcel Fontenot, KATC TV3.